VAR iko sawa let me just give them 50-50.
What I do think is that now VAR is that necessary evil, we need it. I'd not vote for it to go away. However, here imekuwa na some controversial decisions zenye zimekuwa detrimental to different teams. So to an extent VAR is good, but also it has its own cons, I think.
Personally, I think VAR has been affecting positively because utapata before VAR came in, games zimekuwa based on personal decisions, and when VAR came imesaidia at least 1-2 referees saide hawana ile hard time like before. Hi guys, this is Big Sports Africa, your number one football online banter show in Africa right now. And if you're liking the content on our show, make sure to subscribe, put that notification bell on so that you'll be the first to be notified when our next show premieres. And today on our show, we have our friends here. My guy, talk to your people. Introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. This is Sylvester, and we're here to discuss football.
Thank you. Next, mnajua huyu jamaa? My friend.
Yeah, my name is Kevin Masagara. Mnanijua, I'm a die-hard fan of Manchester United, the great and the glorious team. Let's talk football. Yes. Welcome, guys. Tunawapenda sana. Thank you.
Thank you. And remember, I'm still your host, Assassin Ibra. And today on our show, we want to talk about variety of stuff zimekuwa zikiaffect wase kwa Premier League, and due to public demand. Naona pale comment section mlisema mnataka VAR Blunders, and today we want to start with VAR Blunders kwa Premier League. My guys, tunaanza na wewe Kevo.
Yes.
What can you talk about VAR?
To my part, let me say VAR as somehow niseme impact game in some ways, but in another way also niseme ijasaidia game sana kwa venye tunaona the last couple of games. Yeah. So me what I can say, VAR iko sawa let me just give them 50-50.
So wewe personally una tu VAR imekuwa 50-50.
Imekuwa 50-50 iko sawa. They're not
wewe unasemaje mambo ya VAR bana?
For myself, I think basically most of the things, kila kitu inakuanga na its pros and cons.
Yeah.
So what I do think is that now VAR is that necessary evil, we need it.
Yeah.
I'd not vote for it to go away. However, pia imekuwa na some controversial decisions zenye zimekuwa detrimental to different teams. So to an extent, VAR is good, but also it has its own cons, I think.
Maze, mimi kizungu tu ndio nimaliza, and I hope hata wewe fan hapo nyuma unaelewa hii kizungu cause maze, mimi sioni kama mafanu wa hizi timu ndogo. Kama hujasoma degree, hii kizungu itakusumbua. So, VAR maze, me personally I think VAR has been affecting positively because utapata before VAR came in, games zimekuwa based on personal decisions, and when VAR came imesaidia at least 1-2 referees saide hawana ile hard time like before, but also I think pia VAR imekuwa mbaya, imekuwa ikiaffect other teams poorly, and it has really been affecting the title race, the relegation numbers huko chini. So me I think I will give 70% on the positive side and 30% on the negative. So Sylvester Arsenal, if I umesema VAR has its pros and cons, which game do you think personally it has been affected by the VAR? Can you tell these guys?
So for me, let me just make this clear.
Yeah.
I like VAR to an extent in that right now we know that we can now conclusively blame a referee for making a poor decision. Unlike Kitambo, that it was a gray area, you didn't know that did he see it or not. At least right now they can come back and watch it again, and then now maybe he can make that poor decision based on something that he's seen, or a right decision based on what he's seen. So this season I think VAR may impact the title race. I want to talk about Arsenal per se. That games, like the two games against Brentford, where Brentford should have had a goal disallowed for an offside.
True.
That they the VAR committee, the PAG, the Premier League group of referees, they said that it was a mistake that they forgot to draw a line.
True, yeah. Paul
That's
Mason.
a high school
mistake.
As well, when you come to the game against Bournemouth, we had like 5 penalty shouts.
Yeah.
And after all the checkups, zote kwa hizo tano zote, I think
decisions
they said that those were correct decisions, but I think those were shameful decisions.
True.
But the instances where VAR has made right decisions, like for instance, calling back the Casemiro red card, the two Casemiro red cards, the red cards were right.
Yeah, true.
But if we didn't have the VAR, maybe they would have gone under the radar.
So that's true.
To that extent, I agree.
That is true, and we find that VAR has really been affecting Arsenal and the title race. Lakini pia tuko na jamaa wa Man U hapa, Kevin Masagara.
Yes.
What do you have to say about VAR decision? Which games have been affected poorly or effectively on your side? Can you talk to these guys?
Okay, let me just start with the game against Southampton. I think we were at home. Okay, niseme there are some incidents yenye ulikuwa naona there were some direct penalties, you see.
True.
Someone like who is called the defender of Southampton, I think aliguza ball hapo kwa box, and the referee was there. He didn't take the need to the VAR. Of it, that was a poor refereeing, sindio? And again, also when we see these games, there are a lot of games. Let me just not talk about Manchester alone.
True.
You see the game against Crystal Palace. Man City and Crystal Palace. You see, Grealish dived.
Yeah, true.
Lakini referee hawakupeleka hiyo kitu kwa VAR angalia, you see. So mi nasema VAR somehow iko sawa, somehow iko poa, nini iko mbaya, because kuna some mistakes they forgot, they assume ati ziko sawa, but they are not okay, you see. So mi kitu naweza sema VAR wanafaa wakuwe positive, na wanafaa waangalie each and every game, si team kubebwa, msisema team nyingine inabebwa ama team nyingine. VAR, that is the work of VAR. Wakidecide ni sawa, lakini there are some poor decisions that they are making, of which you have to look into, you see. So mi naweza sema let me just give them 50-50, but it is not nini, haiko poa VAR at the moment. They are letting us down, yes.
And I also want to juxtapose whatever you're saying.
Yeah, true.
In that you find that what I want it moving forward, ikweni decisions that are made via VAR, zisikwe prerogatives the referee in the end and decide when to check the VAR or not when to check the VAR. I want that VAR thing ikwe that the decision emanates directly from the VAR referees wenye wako pale. Ni wao ndio wanafaa decide when to check it or when not to check.
So Sylvester, that's true. VAR has really been affecting these EPL games. And briefly before we wind up, I want you to just advise us on how you think personally we can improve on the VAR decisions. Starting with you, Kevin Masagara. What do you think can be done to improve on the VAR?
Okay, let me just start by saying this. Despite the fact that VAR ndio kila kitu ya kusema hapo, but referee also has a say, you see. When you are seeing something, when you see this is a mistake, this is something that, even if you are not there, but you see linesman doing something, you know that we have 3 referees, ndio. Kuna linesman huku na huku, na we have a referee. But you should not even listen to VAR first. When you see something first, you react on it very fast. Alafu the alert, the call from the VAR also, ukisikia VAR, they are telling you that there's something that has happened also. You go and check. You check alone. You know, they might not decide, because wanasemanga referee ndo final says, ndio. They might say it is a penalty, but you on your side you're not seeing it as a penalty. So you have to go and check yourself, go and at least have a better clarification. So mi kitu naweza sema VAR wanafaa wa improve. Kwanza ma referees, kwanza unajua they are the people letting us down. They are seeing a mistake and they're not acting on it very fast. Wanangoja waambiwe, of which mimi naweza sema, mimi hata tu niseme vyangu tu, mimi VAR iko 50-50, iko sawa na iko mbaya. Wanasaidia time nyingine hawasaidii. That is what I can say.
True.
On my part,
I know Man U wanasema hivyo kwa sababu they are no longer in the title race. Lakini let us hear from Arsenal, another die-hard fan, Sylvester wa Arsenal. What do you think can be done to improve on the VAR decisions?
So just like I said earlier,
Yeah.
I think VAR decisions, the main decision inafaa ikuwe ya referee ni anafaa aitwe, but I think VAR should also do much more in terms of calling the referee and review decisions rather than waiting for the referee to maybe check on it. Because unapata the only time they call the referee is when the crime is a little bit more heinous, so unapata wanakosa hizi vitu ndogo ndogo zenye zina happen na zina impact game sana, because we dropped 2 points to Brentford and we almost dropped 3 points to Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, yeah, which is true. Me personally, I think VR was introduced first, and I think the people in the VR office were not given enough time to learn these machines, how they should work. And also, these betting companies, they are really affecting the VR decisions. And unapata some referees, some officials are being paid and to implement negatively on a certain team. We just have hizo ni fununu, but considering the games and the matches, hata sisi kama mafans, we are watching these games and we know that some decisions kama ile ya Manchester United maze, that was a penalty.
Yeah, that was
true.
A penalty.
But considering the intention ya ule jamaa haikuwa kushika ball, and that's why unapata VAR maybe it had another decision. I think we are calling upon the main officials to be very consistent, be up to task, make sure that if you are making a decision, let the decision remain. Sio mna make decision and then in the aftermath again you come and say that it was a different decision. You did this because of this and this and this. We don't expect mistakes in the VAR room, and we are looking up to you. Remember, there are some guys huku nje. They're also looking up to you. They want to be official. They want to be match officials, and they're expecting good decisions, Maze. Having said all that, Maze, at our comment section, you can also share us your views on how you think the VAR can be improved, because we are finding that tumeambiwa it has so many pros and cons. Sindio? Tuambie hapo comment section, tunangoja Maze. Keep it big sports.